everyone. Welcome to the FireSide Chat, episode 9.
Can't believe it's episode 9 already.
I know. We're going to have the same amount of FireSide Chats we did season 1.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so today, so I'm your host, Ethan, if you don't know, and this is Ditong's co-hosting.
Hello.
And so today we're going to be talking about integrity and focusing specifically on Matthew 5:37.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the scripture reads, all you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. So it's a pretty short scripture.
It's a pretty straightforward scripture.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, but I think it is really important because, you know, I think the scripture is talking about that we need to have integrity. You know, we need to be fully committed to whatever we do.
Yeah. And I think it's more than just, I mean, even you're not a Christian, I think even in like, you know, they call it the boomer generation. They always talk about how the boomer generation have more integrity. When they say they're going to do something, they do it. And they always complain about how our younger generation, like Gen Z or Gen X, whatever, Gen Alpha, that people don't have the integrity like they used to. Which I guess I can see that because I think the world has changed. Because I think people has that integrity. It is a Bible-based integrity.
Yeah. I think it's easier to. I mean, I think like the first thing that comes to mind is like flaking out on something, right? And it's like I think it's easier to do that now because we have phones.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, back in the day, like in my parents' generation, like I mean, they had landlines, but like even then, it's like if you were out of the house, like you couldn't get in contact. So it's like, well, we made the plans, you better stick to it, you know. Otherwise, you're kind of sitting there like.
Yeah.
Wondering where are my friends, but now it's like you can just send a text like, "Oh, hey, I actually can't make it." You know, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, you know, I don't think this is saying like, you know, if something comes up, like you got a flat tire, like that's not you, like, you know, it's like you couldn't make it, but it's like, you know, I think you're saying like, oh yeah, I'll go hang out with you, and it's like, you know, I'm not really feeling it anymore. Maybe I'm kind of tired. I'm just gonna tell them I'm not gonna go. It's like that's. You're not fully committed. You're not committing. You're letting someone down. You know, you're not committed to the plan. And I think it's also like, that's not right. And that really honestly devalues, I think, you know, the power of your words. Like, you know, you're not as trustworthy of a person anymore, because the next time I say, oh, let's do something, or I want you to do something for me, in the back of my mind, that there might be that thing of like, oh, they're going to flake out. Like they're going to come up with some excuse last minute. You know, it's like there's a higher chance of that. And, you know, we don't really, I mean, so like that's like I guess the more practical reasoning behind it's like, yeah, you should commit to yes and no.
Yeah. And it's funny to say that God actually had that kind of like list out for us as an instruction, because He know in our heart oftentimes we can be deceitful about our own words. We can be tempted by many things. So He gave out, you know, very clear guidelines on, hey, your yes simply just need to be yes, your no be no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is so true. It is so simple. And I think like it can be so easy. For me, I can focus a lot on the yes. But it's also important the no.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we need to be able to say no to things. And when we say no, we need to confirm, like, nope, I said no, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
I know for myself, I could be a people pleaser. And I think, like, especially at work, it can be really hard for me to say no. Because, you know, it can... You can have this idea of, like, oh, if I say no to this, then my boss is going to look down at me. He's gonna think like, oh, I'm lazy, or I'm not a good worker. Even if it's, you know, might be something like you're not very comfortable doing. You don't know if you're ready to take on that task yet, or maybe you just already have a ton of stuff you're doing at work. It's okay to say no. You don't want to overbook yourself. And like even outside of work, I think like even hanging out with people, you know, so I'm going to be moving soon.
Yeah.
And
so sad.
I know. We'll figure out how to do the podcast. We'll do an online thing. It's why season 2 is taking a little bit to get started. But you know, my time. I mean, time is always precious. But right now, I only have so many hours in a day where I can meet up with people, or I can, do things like this podcast, and where I have to pack up. And so there's some times where I'm like, hey, I can't double book. I unfortunately have to say no. I mean, even just like 20 minutes ago, I had to say no to somebody who wanted to meet up. Sorry, I'm already scheduled out with the things I'm doing. I have to be committed to that because, and there's someone in our church, Glenn, he has a really great saying. He says, if you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to 3 other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's so true. The older you get, I think the busier you get because you have to be committed to stuff you do. And it sucks to say no, but at the same time, you have to, because you don't want to let other people down. And it's better to say no to somebody now than say yes to them and say, I'm sorry, I have to reschedule, or I can't actually commit to what I said I was committed to.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand. I think that's one of the things I've been strived to do ever since I become disciple. I think before I was a disciple, I definitely give out a lot of loose yes. Mm-hmm. Especially when you're like a college student on campus, people are like, hey, you're going to show up to this party? I'll be like, yeah, I'll be there. I don't really want to be there. or like, oh, come join our study group. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'll come stop by. Never stop by. Mm-hmm. Or like, oftentimes you gave this, I would say, like a very loose yes based on social cue or based on, it could be social pressure. Depends on if you're somebody who is more introverted or it could be somebody who extroverted. If you're somebody who extroverted, you may be giving too many yeses. And somebody introverted could be, you feel you can't say no. Or even you want to, or you get yourself trapped in a situation that, like you're kind of saying, like people pleasing. You're like, you really don't want to be there and you're there anyway. But because of it, you're not really giving 100% what you're like, you're not giving yourself wholeheartedly. Yeah. So you're not really there present. So what's really the point?
Yeah.
I know you have a good example. Just like just earlier today, I know you have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. No, so I think a good example of this is, so I'm moving to Hawaii. Yeah. Super fun.
Aloha.
Yeah.
If any listener in Hawaii.
And so there's 2 guys from the church. When I was just over there a couple weeks ago, and 'cause part of the reason I was there was because I already had it scheduled out, so I had to say yes to that. Yeah. I already had that trip planned out, so that was part of it. The other part of it was because by that point I knew I was going to be moving there. Yeah. And so I was trying to find a house. So I was talking to these 2 guys from the church that are living there, and they offered me to stay with them. They had a spare room. I said yes to that because, I was like, okay, it's good price for Hawaii, good deal, not too far away from, where I'm going to be working and all that stuff. Yeah. So today I get a text from another guy from the church who, he also had a room open. And it's slightly cheaper, which would be nice. It's slightly closer to my job, which would be nice. But I'm moving this week. Like, I'm going to be there Friday. I can't, even if it is a better deal, like, that would not be right for me to just, I'll do that. And I'm going to switch out the plan I already made. Yeah. Like, no, at this point, like, nope, I'm committed. I committed to that already. I can't change plans for that. Like, even if it is a better day, I mean, it's like, it is what it is. But it's like, and I'm happy too, like where I'm going to stay. It's not like I'm like stuck in this bad situation, but it's like, it's, at this point it's too late. It's too, that would be too last minute. Yeah. My yes is my yes and my no is my no.
Yeah. And I think this is where a lot of people can be tempted because, in reality, even you do decide to switch, I'm sure the other 2 brothers will be okay with it. They will be understanding because just who they are and how we are in the church. Yeah. But this is where the devil works. Mm-hmm. It's this little compromise you make. Today could be this, tomorrow could be something else. Yep. And, like you were saying, it's not, in reality, none of them, it's not like the other brother who offer you a better deal now is like trying to steal you away or anything. I think they're just generally just trying to help out. Yeah. And the fact you're sticking to your word, even though the other place may make more logical sense, it's very it shows character for who we need to be as a Christians, and it obviously this is just one example we have, and then there's many little things in our daily life we can do, and it's oftentimes we do fail. It's not like we're perfect. It's not like Ethan always 100%. No. He's pretty good at it. I would say he was up to 90-some%.
Oh, thank you.
He's getting an A on it, but there's definitely times he will fail, and there's definitely times I will fail, and there oftentimes there's things that are out of our control, like you say.
Yeah, I mean, life happens, so it's not like, it's not the end of the world if something comes up and you can't commit to it. Like, because, again, people have understanding, like, people understand, but,
don't make a habit.
Don't make a habit. It should be the exception. It shouldn't be the rule.
Yeah, it shouldn't be somebody expect you to not make it.
Yeah, because, unfortunately, there are people that I know.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, hey, I hope you stick to your word.
Yeah.
But I'm really not expecting it.
Yeah, I think one good example is always when you try to organize a group vacation.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things. So I'm a planner in our group. So every year we do a beach trip, just one day, nothing crazy. We get everybody, YoPro, like younger professional together. Back then was campus. We've been doing it for years. I would get everybody together. Have people committing to this trip just one day, way ahead of time. And oftentimes people say, oh, I'm available. Then when it comes to like the week off, they're like, oh, sorry, I can't go. After a couple of times, you see there are a couple of people, you're like, yeah, I'm not really expecting them 100%. If they come, good, we made room for it. But if they're not, I'm not going to be upset about it anymore because I know. I mean, it's sometimes not even them, it's just they have a way busier job, whatever they do.
Yep.
But sometimes just, some lesson they may need to learn on.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, I just wanted to touch upon one last thing. I think it was so important what you said earlier that, it's a lot of times it's not these big things. It's really these tiny things that can get in the way. And like that's, I don't want to stray too off topic, but that's so true with sin and with temptation.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, some people for sure they're gonna fall for like the big thing that Satan presents you, but a lot of times I know for myself looking back, it was little chips along the way, sometimes even like a month ago or whatever, and it's like, wow, that's causing me to sin now. So it's just, you got to stay diligent and you got to stay vigilant. And I think, that's really related to it really, what compromises are you making? Because you're going to make compromises otherwise. So bottom line, have integrity,
Let your yes be yes, let your no be no.
Exactly.
Have a good week.
Yes.